Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Snack Time with Michael Hearst. I am your host, Michael Hearst, author of several books, including Unusual Creatures, Curious Constructions, and Extraordinary People, as well as albums that go with them, songs that correlate with many of the entries. I thought for today's episode, I would read from Extraordinary People, and you're probably wondering what my snack is, and well, this all ties in. Today's snack is hummus and pretzels. This is homemade hummus that I made. Very simple, easy to do. You just take chickpeas and put them in a food processor with some tahini and some lemon juice, salt, pepper, a little cumin, olive oil. You're good to go. And I like using pretzel sticks just because they're fun and small and make for a delicious dipping vessel. So from Extraordinary People, in my extraordinary copy, which is printed upside down, how appropriate that I would read a piece about Ibn Battuta. Have you guys ever heard about Ibn Battuta? Well, let's find out. Who is this Ibn Battuta? Born in Tangier, Morocco, died in Morocco 1304 to 1377. That was a long time ago, over 700 years ago. Road trip. At the age of 21, Ibn Battuta said goodbye to his friends and family in Morocco and set off on a journey that would last 24 years. That is one long journey. Of course, there weren't many roads for a road trip in the 1300s, nor were there airplanes or frequent flyer miles for that matter. Instead, Battuta traveled on camel, boat, and foot, covering approximately 75,000 miles and visiting just about the entire known Islamic world and then some. His journey began with a Hajj, or pilgrimage, to Mecca, the holiest city in the Islamic world. The voyage, which took 16 months, covered 3,000 miles. After reaching Mecca and exploring much of the Middle East, Battuta decided he wanted more. He headed north to what is now Iraq and Iran, and then back down to the Red Sea, to Tanzania and the Swahili coast. In 1332, he headed up to India, where he was welcomed by the Sultan of Delhi, and was offered a job as a judge, which incidentally happened to be his family's trade back in Morocco. They were all judges and law officials. You can see on this picture I have a little bit of his, get a close-up of that. Battuta stayed in India for 8 years, but then, perhaps with itchy feet, headed for China. In 1349, he finally returned home, where he learned that his father had died 15 years earlier. Remember, they didn't have cell phone service, or FaceTime, or Zoom. He'd learned his father had died 15 years earlier, and his mother had passed away just a few months before his arrival. Unable to stay put, Battuta set out once again, this time through Spain, to regions of Morocco he had not yet explored, and then to the Africa kingdom of Mali and the city of Timbuktu. I love Timbuktu. I've never been there, I just love the name Timbuktu. In 1354, he returned to Morocco for good, where he can only hope he threw out his shoes and took a hot bath. At least that's what I would have done after walking that many miles. So yes, Ibn Battuta was an explorer and a Moroccan scholar. Caravan. Battuta would occasionally team up with caravans, groups of people traveling together, often on trade routes, to avoid the risk of being attacked by bandits. Plus, it no doubt made traveling a little less lonely. Always nice to travel with your friends in groups. And when I was in college, I traveled around Europe with a backpack and quickly made friends, and we traveled together and formed our own caravan, and it made traveling a lot more fun. But how do we know all this? Not only was Ibn Battuta an extraordinary explorer, but he was also extraordinary at recounting his adventures. Upon Battuta's return to Morocco, Sultan Abu Inan Faris was so impressed that he had Battuta dictate his stories into a book known as the Rila, the Journey. That's what it translates to. So, during his travels, Ibn Battuta, 1, married several women. 2, he survived a shipwreck while on a visit to China. 3, covered 3 times as much distance as Marco Polo. Yes, everyone loves Marco Polo. There really should be a game in the water called Ibn Battuta, where one person goes, Ibn, the other person says, Battuta, Ibn Battuta. 4, covered enough miles to equal 3 times around Earth at the equator. That is a lot of miles. 5, stopped for lunch at the Ibn Battuta Mall in Dubai. Okay, I made that one up. The mall was only recently built. There were no malls in the time of Ibn Battuta. Okay, so the song for Ibn Battuta, I'm going to go ahead and start playing it now because I can't perform it so easily live. It's from my album Songs for Extraordinary People. You can hear Ben Holmes playing trumpet at the beginning, and then I tell the story of Ibn Battuta in my own kind of way. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you next time.
Desert trails and ocean sails, a caravan in the sun. 16 months, 3,000 miles, our journey's just begun. First stop was in Mecca, my future came in view. On to Arabia, India, and China, then down to Timbuktu. I survived a shipwreck, married 4 women, maybe several more. I'm Ibn Battuta, Moroccan scholar now.